stepsisters squeezed into their gowns, forcing Cinderella to help them. All the while they scolded her and taunted her because she would not be going to the ball. "Ouch, you are pulling my hair," yelled one stepsister. "While we are dancing with the prince, Cinderella will still be here tidying the house," laughed the other. They're so mean. Cinderella watched sadly as they left for the ball. When she was alone, Cinderella sat down in the garden and sobbed. "If only I could go and dance at the ball," she cried. The very next instant, a flash lit up the garden. From out of nowhere, there appeared a winged woman dressed in a flowing gown. "Who are you?" asked Cinderella with apprehension. "I am your fairy godmother," the woman answered. "I am here to help you. I have come to bring you the good fortune you deserve. Tonight is the night of the royal ball, is it not? Would you like to go?" "Oh, goodness, yes," said Cinderella. "Well then," the fairy godmother said, "let's get you presentable, shall we?" With a wave of her wand, the fairy showered the garden with sparks. When Cinderella opened her eyes, she was amazed by what she saw. Look how pretty. The fairy. "Why, my rags have turned into a beautiful gown," said Cinderella. "And the mice and pumpkins have become a coach and a team of fine horses. You must hurry," said the fairy godmother. "The magic won't last. My spell will be broken at the exact moment that the clock strikes midnight." And with that, the stunning Cinderella was whisked away to the ball. "Who is that girl?" asked one of the guests as Cinderella entered the ball. "She must be royalty." Clock it. The prince spotted Cinderella and immediately asked her to dance. She blushed slightly, but offered her hand. "Who does that girl think she is?" cried the two stepsisters, not knowing the stranger was really Cinderella. As the night wore on, the prince danced only with Cinderella. "This night has been one of the most wonderful in my life," Cinderella told him. She could tell that they were falling in love. "Who are you?" he asked. Before Cinderella could reply, the clock began to strike 12. It was midnight. She had forgotten all about her fairy godmother's warning. "I must go home," she thought. "I cannot let the prince see me in my rags." And so she turned and ran away. "Come back," cried the startled prince. "You did not even tell me your name." But Cinderella did not hear him, for she was already out of the palace doors. In her hurry, she lost one of the beautiful glass slippers the fairy godmother had given her. The prince rushed after the girl, but to no avail. However, he did find the single glass slipper that she had left behind. As he bent to pick it up, a single tear slid down his cheek. The next day, Cinderella was again in her rags cleaning her stepmother's house. As she scrubbed, she heard her stepsisters talking excitedly. "The prince is searching the entire kingdom for the girl he loves," said one. "He has her glass slipper with him. Whomever it fits, he will marry," said the other stepsister. When the prince arrived at their house, Cinderella watched, hidden in a corner, as her stepsisters tried on the slipper, but their feet were far too big for the delicate shoe. The prince was starting to leave when he spotted Cinderella. "Why won't you try on the slipper?" asked the prince. Cinderella's foot fit perfectly inside the glass slipper. He looked past the ash-stained face and into Cinderella's eyes. It was her, all right. The prince had found his love at last. The couple rushed off to be married at once, and they lived happily ever after. Now we have the story of Rapunzel, 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 let down your golden hair. Also, speaking of Rapunzel, I have a little trinket I'll share with you in a moment. Maybe I'll make her the thumbnail. Anyways, Rapunzel. There once lived a young couple that was expecting their first child. One evening, the wife had a craving for the delicious Rapunzel lettuce that grew in the garden of their neighbor. As it happened, their neighbor was a bitter and evil old witch. Who's been in that situation, am I right? But the young husband didn't want to let down his lovely wife, so he ran outside and jumped into the garden. Just as he knelt to pick a head of lettuce, the witch appeared. "How dare you enter my garden?" screeched the witch. "And how dare you attempt to steal my lettuce?" "I meant no harm," said the man. "I merely wanted to treat my wife to a delicious evening supper. Please don't hurt me. I'm to be a father soon." "Go home," said the witch. "Take all that you want from my garden. But when your child comes, I shall take her for my own." The scared man climbed back over the garden wall and hurried home, his pockets full of Rapunzel lettuce. When he got there, he did not tell his wife what had happened. A short time later, a baby girl was born. The woman named her child Rapunzel after her favorite food. Later that day, there was a knock at the door. It was, guess. If you guessed the witch, you get a kiss. Okay. When the husband explained what had happened, the young couple realized that there was nothing they could do. The witch took the baby and left. To prevent the girl's parents from finding her, the witch locked Rapunzel away in a tall tower. Though they searched near and far, Rapunzel's parents were never able to find their little girl. Many years passed, and Rapunzel grew into a beautiful young woman. During her time in the tower, Rapunzel had never been allowed to cut her hair, so it had grown long. It had grown very, very long. The window to Rapunzel's room was very high, so to reach it, the witch would yell, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw down your golden hair." Rapunzel would obey, and the witch would scurry up the 2 golden braids. One day, a handsome prince passing through town heard a girl's voice singing a lovely song. He followed the sound of the glorious voice when suddenly he heard a scratchy, ugly voice begin to croak. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel," growled the witch, "throw down your golden hair." Through his spyglass, the prince saw a beautiful girl with long golden hair. She was perched in a tower window. He spotted an ugly old witch climbing up her golden braids. The handsome prince waited until the old witch left the tower. Enchanted by the beautiful girl, the prince crept up to the tower and called, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw down your golden hair." As he expected, 2 golden braids of hair You shall not have to endure another day here, said the prince. He climbed down the tower wall to the ground below. There he stood while Rapunzel leaped from the window into his arms. Then the two of them quickly hid behind a shrub, just as the bitter and evil old witch arrived. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw down your golden hair, said the witch. When the braids never fell, the witch realized that Rapunzel had escaped. The witch was beyond furious and